A child waits for a letter that feels like a freedom. A king's dream of perfection that collapses into chaos. A courtroom becomes a stage for cruelty. A family silence grows louder than words. Indian English drama lives in these moments, where myth meets modern crisis and the stage becomes a mirror we cannot easily look away from. In the next few minutes, we will move through the worlds of Rabindranath Tagore, Mahesh Dattani, Girish Karnad, and Vijay Tendulkar and see how Indian theatre evolves from spiritual symbolism to sharp social reality, and finally to the intimate tension of contemporary life. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I am Dr. Riya Dattu and I make videos on English literature and language. And if you are new to this channel and these topics excite you, tag along. Indian English drama does not appear as a mere imitation of Western theatre. It grows like a banyan tree, its roots sunk deep into Sanskrit drama, folk tradition, myth, and colonial encounters, while its branches stretch towards modernity, identity, and political consciousness. Unlike the English theatre, which moved steadily through Elizabethan vitality to modern day realism, Indian drama performs a constant negotiation between tradition and transition. When we examine playwrights like Rabindranath Tagore, Girish Karnad, Mahesh Dattani, and Vijay Tendulkar, we are not just studying texts. We are entering different dramatic universes, each shaped by history, philosophy, and tension of their times. When we come to Rabindranath Tagore's drama, we see that his dramas refuse to behave like conventional theatre. There is no urgency of plot, no obsession with the conflict of Aristotelian standards. Instead, his plays unfold like meditative journey, where the visible world is only a veil over the spiritual realities. His theatre is closer to poetry than to action, and this is precisely what is significant for Indian drama in English. In Daghar, the story appears to be deceptively simple. Amal, a sick child, is confined in his room, waits for a letter from the king. Yet the dramatic tension does not lie in the fact whether the letter arrives or not, but in what the waiting signifies. Amal's waiting becomes a symbol of the human soul yearning to be liberated. The king's letter transforms into a metaphor for death, not as an end, but as a release into freedom. This philosophical reworking of death aligns deeply into Upanishadic teachings, where death is not annihilation but transition. Tagore's Raktakarobi moves into an overtly political terrain, yet it retains the symbolic density. The oppressive king who hoards wealth and controls labor represents mechanized modernity and dehumanization. Nandini, the central female figure, becomes the force of vitality and rebellion, almost an embodiment of life itself, resisting industrial tyranny. The play critiques capitalism, but not through realism. Instead, Tagore constructs a symbolic universe where characters operate as archetypes rather than individuals. One thing is to remember is that Tagore's drama aligns with symbolism, not realism or naturalism. His plays reject the photographic representation of life and instead creates a suggestive atmosphere. The influence of Western symbolists can be felt here, but Tagore's philosophical grounding remains distinctly Indian. His theatre is thus a confluence where Eastern spirituality meets the Western dramatic experimentation. If Tagore's drama looked inward towards the soul, Girish Karnad's drama turns both backward and forward at the same time. He excavates myth, legends, and narratives, only to discover that they are not relics of the past, but living frameworks through which contemporary anxieties can be understood. In Tughlaq, Karnad represents the historical figure Muhammad bin Tughlaq, a ruler known for his brilliance as well as for his disastrous decisions. The play traces the transformation from an idealistic visionary to a paranoid tyrant. Yet, this is not merely a historical reconstruction. Written in 1960s, The play resonates strongly with post independent India, where initial idealism gradually gave way to political disillusionment. Tughlaq becomes a tragic figure whose intellect isolates him and whose ambition leads to chaos. The dramatic irony is profound. A ruler who seeks rationality ends up creating deep irrational sufferings. Karnad's Haidavana turns from history to myth, drawing upon a tale from Kathasarit Sagara, the story of two friends and a woman whose identities become entangled through a bizarre exchange of heads, becomes an exploration of the question: what defines the identity, the body or the mind? The play refuses to offer an easy answer. Instead, it dramatizes the fragmentation of self, making it deeply relevant to modern existential concerns. The use of masks, dolls, and a narrator evokes the folk theatre tradition, particularly Yakshagana, creating a unique theatrical experience. In Nagbandala, Karnad turns again into folklore, weaving tales about a neglected wife whose life is transformed upon the encounter of a magical serpent. The play operates on multiple levels as a story about female desire, as a critique of patriarchal norms, and as a meta-theatrical exploration of the narrative itself. The presence of flames and stories as characters blurs the boundary between reality and imagination. Karnad must be understood as a playwright who bridges the tradition and modernity. His drama incorporates myth, tradition, folklore, yet it addresses the modern themes like identity crisis, alienation, and power. His work is often linked to existentialism, but is rooted into Indian cultural form rather than Western models alone. With Vijay Tendulkar, the stage goes sharp transformation. The lyrical and symbolic gives way to raw and unsettling. His drama does not comfort, it confronts. If Tagore's theatre whispers and Karnad's theatre question, Tendulkar's theatre accuses. In silence, the court is in progress. A group of amateur actors stage a mock trial, which gradually turns into a cruel exposure of a woman's personal life. Miss Benare, the central figure, becomes the target of a collective humiliation. What begins as play acting becomes psychological violence. The courtroom, a symbol of justice, is transformed into a site of oppression. Tendulkar reveals how societal structures often mask cruelty under the guise of morality. Ghashiram Kotwal is perhaps more politically charged. Set in 18th century Pune, the play tells the story of the rise and fall of Ghashiram, a man who becomes a tyrannical police chief under the patronage of Nana Padmanavis. The play uses music, dance, and chorus in a manner reminiscent to folk theatre, yet its content is sharply critical of power politics and corruption. Ghasiram is both victim and a villain, illustrating how systems of power perpetuates the cycle of violence. Tendulkar's drama is marked by social realism, but it is not passive observation. It actively exposes the mechanics of power, gender inequality, and social hypocrisy. Violence in his plays is not merely physical, it is psychological as well as structural. It is important to identify Tendulkar as a dramatist who aligns with modern realistic drama, yet transcends it by incorporating stylized element and political concerns. Mahesh Dattani brings Indian drama into contemporary urban setting. His theatre is intimate, focusing on middle class lives. Yet it reveals deep fracture into everyday normality. If earlier playwrights dealt with myth, symbol, and overtly political aspects, Dattani turns to the silence within the families and identities. In Final Solutions, the communal tension between Hindus and Muslims is explored through the lens of a single household. The use of masks to represent mob mentality is particularly significant. Individuals lose their identity and become a part of communal violence. The play suggests that communal hatred is not an external force, it resides within the people. His drama Tara examines the gender discrepancies within the family. The story of conjoined twins, Tara and Chandan, how patriarchal preferences influence the medical decisions. Tara, the girl, is denied a fair chance in life, leading to tragic consequences. The play exposes how bias operates subtly within the private spheres rather than public institutions. Dattani is also known for addressing the themes of homosexuality, child abuse, and identity crisis. These are the subjects often considered taboos in Indian household. His plays are realistic in setting but layered in meaning. It often employs non-linear narrative and memories. Dattani is one of the first Indian playwrights writing extensively in English who deals with contemporary urban issues. His drama aligns with postmodern concerns, particularly fragmentation, identity, and the politics of representation. To sum it up, we can say that Indian drama cannot be reduced to one single movement or one single style. It is a dynamic field where different voices coexist and challenge each other. Tagore elevates drama into spiritual experience. Karnad reinvents tradition to address modern dilemmas. Tendulkar exposes the harsh realities of society, and Dattani brings focus to the everyday contemporary life. Together, they create a theatrical continuum, one that moves from symbolic to realistic, from myth to personal. So, understanding this progression is essential. It is not just enough to memorize plays and dates. One must understand how playwrights interact with their historical and contemporary times, and how Indian drama as a whole negotiates identity, power, and expression. In the end, Indian drama is not only performed on stage, it unfolds in the tension between past and the present, silence and speech, illusion and reality. And like all powerful theaters, it leaves us not just with answers, but questions that linger longer even after the curtain falls. So that is my lecture on Indian English drama with the focus on Tagore, Karnad, Tendulkar and Dattani. For more videos like this, keep an eye on my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.